Aries, hey, what is going on? Welcome into the channel. So happy to have you here always. My name is Deborah, owner of Purusha Holistic Wellness, and this is another episode of Purusha Intuitive, where we're going to look at your energy via the tarot, astrology, and any channeled messages that come through. So let's get into it. We are in Gemini season. It's definitely brought some movement, some momentum, definitely welcomed. The astrology's been a little bit weird lately, right? We've been having to navigate a lot of feelings, a lot of emotions, lots of tension. And Taurus, a little bit of Taurus season, but Gemini season, we're finally feeling a little bit of reprieve from that. It's not as much intensity. We're able to kind of sit with and process through all the things that are happening. Gemini is air energy, so it does govern our intellect, our communication, the day-to-day activities, the people, places, and things. And that's obviously in focus right now because there are changes being made. Pluto moved into Aquarius back in November. It's also currently in retrograde right now. So it highlights places where those changes need to be made. Aquarian energy is really beautiful because it allows us to connect with our ideals, our hopes, our wishes, that proverbial wish fulfillment, right? And right now, unfortunately, are not. Things that are not in alignment with that are being highlighted so that we can make changes, we can make adjustments accordingly. This week is going to be a little bit more intense than what we've seen the past couple weeks. It starts off kind of nice, kind of quiet, typical energy, but then we're seeing more frustration as the week progresses. We'll definitely get into that. I'd like to start the readings off with an energy cleansing, just set the tone, set the vibe for the reading, cleanse out any blocks, obstacles that we might be coming into. It's also a really good time to set your own intention for the reading, especially if you've come in with something on your heart, on your mind, something you would like spirit to deliver messages to you around. Definitely give that over, be open to receive. It's an awesome way to personalize these collective readings. And I also do personal readings. I offer a variety of healing and wellness services. Readings are one of them. If you want me to look at your specific situation, how it's faring, where it's headed, that type of thing, or if you are just looking for more of a realignment with self, mind, body, soul, I do energy healing as well as Ayurvedic or holistic wellness consultations. When we're operating from that space of feeling grounded, supported, when we know ourselves, our wants, our desires, that's really where we're tapping into manifesting our abundance. We have to be in alignment. That's like really the only way it works. I mean, we can get like the quick fixes, but they only last so long, right? And anyway, all that to say, I would love to help support you in whatever way possible. Aries, definitely hit me up. All the info to get into contact with me is in the description box below. All right, let's get into it. I bless you with pure love and light, pure source energy, pure loving grace. I release anything that is not for your highest and best. Any fears, doubts, insecurities, lack of worth, lack of value, pain, anger, frustration, impatience, overwhelm. Cleanse it and release it from our being, so we may see and understand the messages clearly and help to make me a clear and open channel for the collective. Thank you, Father God, Spirit Guides, Guardian Angels, Mama Love, Mama Love. All right, Aries. It feels like someone is heavily on your mind this week. There's this energy of like, I also was hearing you don't want to get burned, right? We'll look in to see how this energy is playing out, but you might be walking a little bit more cautiously, trying to make sure that you are dotting your I's, crossing your T's, so to speak, walking consciously. Your moves are strategic. Yeah, I love this because your overarching energy is the womb card. And so this is all about like when that period of gestation, right? Like when we've planted certain seeds, when we are watering the soil, when we are even just kind of cultivating what it's going to look like. You know, I feel like you're in this space of a lot of planning. I feel like what your next steps are and how it's going to look. It does feel like there's some tricky elements to this that you're dealing with. Maybe places that you've gotten yourself into a pickle. And this is part of that, like, not really wanting to get burned, not really knowing how to connect with or approach someone. I feel like you have to have a conversation, or you want to have a conversation with someone that's going to give you a little bit more clarity. But until you do, you're kind of laying low, or I don't want to say staying small, but it feels like that, like almost like you're hiding in the corner, which I don't know, maybe that's a message for someone specific. I'm not trying to put you down by saying that. That's very like not typical Aries energy, but you definitely have this vibe. Waiting, watching, yes, listening. I feel like you're trying to gauge a situation before you engage. So figuring out what is the reality of something, someone. I love this. Yeah, and obviously you're in observation mode. But this week, Spirit's saying that it might not be for your best, right? Like maybe you have enough information already, right? Maybe you have enough information already, and I think there's a part of you that's afraid to make any moves right now for whatever reason. Let's see what flipped up. Yeah, okay, afraid to make any moves. 5 of Pentacles energy is when we're feeling left out, when we're feeling like someone's not paying attention to us, you know, or we're kind of despondent about how our life is going, things aren't working, or it's not what we want, you know, maybe even kind of taking good things for granted. You do have this expand energy. So maybe right now, Aries, you're just playing it a little bit too small. Or maybe you've been in the same dynamic, same cycle for a long time, and it's time to shake the energy up a little bit. But I feel like there is this level of you're not certain. I'm hearing like a lack of awareness. Like you've maybe been in this mode. Fire energy has a tendency to do this, where you just kind of keep going, keep pushing, keep making things happen, which is great. I admire it 110%. At the same time, if we're not taking a break to kind of process through the things that are happening, it does leave us a little bit limited. And you're in a space, like I said, where either life is very mundane, you're doing the same thing over and over and over again. Maybe you've had some issues that you're trying to straight out, that you're trying to refine and perfect. But now it feels like that's getting in order. Spirit's saying to look to the next thing. But looking to the next thing is easier said than done. For some reason for you this week, I don't know. It looks like you just kind of want to hang out and chill. You don't want to make any waves. You don't want to make any waves. And so I think that that's part of why you're staying on the background. Okay, we have this King of Wands. So you're feeling really good. Like you do have your stuff together this week. This is not a lack of, like, this is not you feeling all over the place or you don't know what to do. It's more just like trying to plan what those next steps are. You're trying to keep everything in control. And I think to some capacity, it's showing that you're recognizing what some of the realities of your life are. Not good, bad, right, or wrong. I think you're starting to kind of process like, okay, this is what it's going to look like moving forward, etc. You're dealing with someone who like is really happy. There's a lot of good things going on here. But this is someone who, I don't know. I think this is kind of a hard energy for you to deal with for some reason, which is interesting because the way that this energy is coming around you, it's like there's a lot of goodness here. Yeah, like 9, 10 of Cups, Ace of Cups. This is someone who's just like really happy with this situation. You're not looking that way as much though, right? Like I feel like maybe there's more to the story, or maybe you're feeling that way. Maybe you're feeling like you have to find something out, a little uncertain about someone, something, what the motivation is. You know how sometimes when people are like too happy, you're like, what is going on with them? It's almost like that could be a bad thing too. I don't feel like this person is overly like ridiculous because they're vibing as the Queen of Swords, and Queen of Swords just does a really good job at the pros and cons list, or being able to not put emotion into things if it's not required, right? But everything around this person's situation is saying like, hey, I'm happy, I love what's going on, I feel good, I feel even rejuvenated to some capacity. And for you, why is this so difficult, Aries? Okay. It's making you a little bit emotional for some reason. Maybe you expected something to kind of do something. Sorry, that's so ambiguous. But it has this energy like you had expectations of a person's situation. They didn't do it. They didn't follow suit. And now that you're kind of seeing them be okay, I feel like it might be a little bit triggering for you as well, right? Because we have this temperance energy. There could have been a misunderstanding. There could have just been something that happened that, I don't know, because as things are progressing with this situation, Aries, it's actually shedding a lot of light on to where those misunderstandings were taking place. Maybe a time that you needed to be a little bit more or less opinionated. That's what I'm hearing, less opinionated about what someone was doing, right? Because justice is all about being able to be diplomatic, to not get too invested until you know what's going on, right? Like, it's that ability to let things play out a little bit before we're making decisions. And I feel like there are some decisions that you want to make that I feel like would actually bring in more momentum, right? That actually would kind of like, you'd see things get up and running, so to speak. Okay. But there's something lingering around. Let's see what this rat energy is. Having a conversation with someone. There's going to be good days and bad days, right? There's going to be days where like things all make sense and they all add up. And then there's going to be times where we question ourselves, is what I'm hearing with this title pool. I feel like you're in a mode of questioning whether you made the right decision this week, or there's something about someone that you do have to interact with. I think you're really worried, or someone around you is really worried. There's a little bit of paranoia playing out. And I feel like, okay, so Spirit's also asking you to listen. Sometimes we get so in our head and we create these situations, these scenarios that are not actually true. And oftentimes it's because we are not listening. We're not listening to what is being said. Maybe that's where a conversation to clarify is going to do you a lot of good this week. Because like I said, whatever you're dealing with is good, right? Like whatever you're dealing with is good. Again, that might make you mad because maybe you want certain things to happen with them. Maybe you want them to engage with you in a little bit different of a way. Maybe you were hoping that after a while they would come back around, that type of vibe. Like I'm hearing like as they were healing, or maybe they kind of had to go through some stuff that didn't really require you. Whatever it is, I feel like this is about opening your eyes. I feel like you're not really ready to make a decision one way or the other. I think that's why you're just sitting on it. But I think Spirit's also saying like, you know what this is. And maybe there's just this part of you that's having a hard time acknowledging it, right? Because something about this makes you feel really emotional, or maybe even trapped more in your life, right? Like you feel like you can't get out of it even more. And that's not necessarily the case. I think we just have to change it up sometimes. We got to kind of find different avenues to plug our energy into, so we're not doing the same thing over and over and over again, or getting frustrated and annoyed by the same circumstances. It's inevitable. It happens. That's life. But at the same time, you deserve to enjoy yourself too, right? And honestly, if you have a little bit more of that diplomatic perspective, you can be in the same boat. It's that value of just remembering like you have good things too, even if it's not 100% apparent on the surface. I feel like this is like that unsettlement in your soul, right? So find a way to channel that energy this week, Aries, whether it's getting out, doing something outside of your normal routine, have some fun, shake it up a little bit. I think that's going to really help answer some questions and bring to light the information that you need. I don't see you necessarily getting it this week because, again, you're kind of like playing small, but at the same time, I feel like you have a reason for it. So I hope you enjoyed the reading. Thank you so much for your time, energy always. I super appreciate you, all you bring to the channel. No, it blesses my heart so very much. Definitely drop comments below if you did find messages that resonated here. I love to hear, or just say, hey, share in a little love, little TLC. Thank you so much for all you bring my way. Know I'm sending love and blessings back to you.